Welcome to the Eagle Talk Show. Soon you will be soaring high with your host, Mengistu Holokoli, aka the Black Eagle, and the esteemed Dr. Kete Umamare. Don't miss the flight. Let's take off together.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this evening. We have a good show this evening. I will be joined by Mr. Maxi Pacquiao, Max K. Max. Will be joining us. We'll be discussing different issues, some issues that are current events and other issues. So without further ado, let me introduce to you Mr. Pacquiao. Mr. Pacquiao, in our tradition, he's my uncle. And welcome to the show. This is Eagle Talk Uncut weekday edition. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Honorable Walkerly. It's a pleasure to share your platform with you this evening, this afternoon or morning, whatever time our followers are watching us. Thank you so much for the invitation, especially to macroscope happenings in Liberia and the Republic of Liberia. I'm always available. I'm always, able to participate and to contribute as well. So it's a very, very big pleasure to sit on the platform with you on the Eagle Talk this time around.
Well, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you, and looking forward to us having a fruitful discussion. Thank you. Today, the Commerce Minister, the Minister of Commerce and Industrial, tendered his resignation today in regards to his 3 weeks of I wouldn't say unfortunate, but arrogance and unforced error on his part that he was forced to tender his resignation. And I would say that it was something that was coming. I think that it was naive of him to do what he did, knowing some of the people that he within the Unity Party and rumors that went around when he got that position, that they didn't think that he should have received that position, and for him to proceed the way in which he proceeded, I think it was naivete on his part to think that he would have got away with it. What say you?
Well, yeah, I will take it from different perspective and try to balance it as much as I will be able to do it, Mr. Wilcory. I wouldn't want to actually agree with people who say that perhaps the position was not a position that you should have taken, or what happened that people saw it coming. I don't want to agree with that, because at the end of the day, these responsibilities are given for people to exercise their due diligence. Appointments comes with huge representation and a great deal of recommendations, where incapability will also be put under the microscope. So if somebody is appointed by virtue of what they have gone through before reaching the appointment procedures. I don't think it's something that people can just say it's a missteps. It's left for you, the individual, to actually, uh, prove yourself for the better or for the worse. Uh, I don't think any Liberian who is educated and who is prepared to serve their country will be given the position, and people at the very initial stage would say, oh, that is a wrong appointment. Something I don't normally, dwell into because I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. So his appointment, by virtue of his records as a businessman, somebody who has been investing for a long time. He has been dealing with commerce. He has been dealing with industries and trades and things. And so, from that background, I think to me he was best suited to serve as the commerce minister, wherein he could use his contacts. All of these years, he's been doing business and traveling here and there. He made good contacts out there. I thought he was in the best position to serve the commerce ministry, wherein he will bring about improvement on the market. Of course, I did, congratulated him, and I did appreciated the appointment. Not that I know him personally, but because I know his record as well. But then coming up to the point which led to his going today, uh, I feel sad about it because if I put interest in you and trust in you as well, my request is that you should exercise every due diligence and put integrity at the forefront of your work. If you fail to do that now, then of course, whatever that have to comes out should come out. So I didn't see appointment, or I didn't see how to say threat of being removed, sacked from the post coming. That is not what I alluded to when he got when he was appointed. I I saw human being that was supposed to serve his country. And now later on he blundered, he flip-flopped. And I think if I would want to say it rightly, he did the right thing. And in fact, if I want to compare and contrast uh, what can happen in the States, what can happen in the United Kingdom as well, uh, when people put integrity at the forefront of everything, something like this are always avoided. They will always avoid it. But then if you mess around as well, if you go around that you really blundered, the best thing to do is to quickly handle things and do it the right way. So I think his stepping down was actually overdue, or long overdue. I don't think he should have waited for pressure to have mounted the way it did, by virtue of almost, so many intellectuals were attacking him and things. So he didn't do himself justice. If I was in his case, honorable, locally, I think I would have stepped down long time at a very, very initial stage. Apologize, step down, and then go. But however, we have done it now, and I think the best thing I want to recommend now is he should put himself forward for prosecution.
Let me let me ask this. See, one of my problems I had with him recently is the fact that he made a statement about tariffs. That as a commissioner or the minister of commerce and industry, that he been a chairman of the party before, and this is one of my problems that I have with the. Let me not say problem. Let me right now. I'm holding on fire for a year. one of my things I have with leadership in Liberia, that they are not looking to advance the country, but still trying to do the same old thing. I hate to say it like this, that I'm still depending on President Boyka to be the foundation layer. So far, I have not seen it. So far, I have not seen it. I still have faith in him that he can do it. But I have a problem with the people that he have around him, or not even people, I would say the two party that joined, that collaborated for them to get this win. And I would say in this way, I did not vote for President Boyka for him to change anything. If he changed it, that's a plus. I vote for him to enforce April 13, 1980. That's how I look at President Boyka. To reset the country, April 13, 1980. What happened April 12, 1980? If it had not happened, I expect President Boyka to move the country in his next 6 years. And the fact that when I listened to Minister Modai in his statement when he was speaking,
I think we have network problem here. Guys, I think we have network problem here. All right, the host, unfortunately, the host just dropped out. Uh, the host just dropped out. His hosting, we've got all of the tools and the points that we are to cover in this program. And so I'm just going to sit and wait for him to come back, and then we can continue from there. But again, let me just elaborate a little bit on the former minister Modad issue. I think Modad did the right thing, the right thing by resigning.
can you hear me?
Okay, good. You're back.
Yeah. Okay, good. My internet, yeah. I apologize for that, viewers. My apologies. All right. So I was saying, so one of my issues I have with him, that, like I said, that our leadership is not thinking forward and not progressing. When Minister Modad said that the rice price went down from 10% to 20% because India lowered their tariffs. I'm not an econ person. I'm not an economist, but shouldn't we be the one lowering our tariffs for the import of rice coming into the country? So how is that? Are we paying tariffs to India? So that's the reason why what, and nobody in the media challenged what he said. There was no follow-up questions to that statement. That's one of the problems I have with the media. We have people who are journalists who are not knowledgeable about the subject that they are interviewing on, and they allow politicians or allow people to just say anything without being challenged, and then they run with the story. You know, so it's like, so for me listening to him on that press conference, I felt it was time for him to go. That since the 1979 rice riot, we are still trying to import rice into the country. That's some of the reason why President Talbot was killed. And we are still trying to import rice 44, 45 years later, instead of us growing our own rice. What has he done to improve? What business has he brought into the country since his 9 years that he have been in? Then I look at that, you transfer to what the LPRC boss said last week, that because of something that he did, which I believe, I will call it a lie, that he lied to the Liberian people, said because of something he did, the price of gas went down, which is a blatant lie, because he know he did nothing to do that. It's because of the market. What the LPRC boss should be talking about is that we want to have one type of gas in this country. We have the gas and the diesel fuel, where he should be bringing in that we should bring cleaner gas into the country. Those things that people like him are not doing something, those are people, things like that President Boycott need to be ensuring that if they're not moving the country, that those people need to be removed from their position, because they are just doing the same old thing that we complain about this CDC-led government, and the same thing that they just continuing the same process.
I think on the issue of that the rights issue, I think we have to speak the issue objectively, and where he made a mistake, we can point that out. But to say within 7 months' time, 8 months' time, that under his watch as the commerce minister, rice production should be immediate, and within 9 months' time, we should have surplus rice, that would say no more. We shouldn't, in the next perhaps 10 years, the importation of rice should be reduced, if not curtailed. It's hard to curtail. It's hard to actually say no importation of rice.
Mr. Parker, I'm not. No. I'm not of the. Because I'm not of the mindset of the thinking that we should have rice growing. I'm saying that for the fact for him to say India reduced their tariffs is the reason why rice price went down. Like I said, I'm not an economist. I will try and bring an economist to explain this to me and explain to the audience. Tariffs is when, what I understand of tariffs, when you bring a product into a country, they lower the tariffs or they remove the tariff for you to be able to bring the import into the country. So I'm trying to understand tariffs. Why would India be reducing their tariffs? And how is that beneficial to us with India reducing their tariffs? We're not shipping rice to India.
I think
that is the part I'm trying to talk about it. I'm not looking at that's a silly argument for people to say, oh, a rice thing can be done here and stuff. That's a silly argument. I'm not making that. I'm just saying what is being said to the Liberian public, and that the Unity Party partisan go about saying those things, and then we have the media not questioning or pushing back on statement like that. Well, the Spoon Network published his whole speech without any rebut, without any
Mr. Volker, yeah, I also want to disagree with that. If you want to blame the media, because I myself, I'm a journalist, I may not be practicing now, but the fact that
Mm-hmm.
you you are running this platform now, uh, you are under media control. So when you sit here and you propound on issues, you are representing the media. Your voice
Mm-hmm.
is going there under the microscope, through the microscope as a media representation. Doesn't matter you got a master degree in journalism or media relations, but so long you sit here, you use the internet, the social media, and through this media connection, you are opining on issues. You are spreading the message. You are one of those that deal with the issues over and over. There are other journalists who were on his back as well. Yeah. So I want you to, I mean, I want people to even appreciate you for your cry out since the issue of Modern Kimau and some other issues that you have been raising, that you have been discussing on this Ego Talk and thing that I must have been following. So obviously, uh, I must probably on the back as well as a media representation carrying the message across. I mean, if one or two media institutions perhaps are not asking the hard question that you are asking, and you are asking the question, I think the best thing is continue to to push forward since you are I mean you are a patriotic citizen and you want to see your country, I mean, move forward in a very positive direction. I think we should continue that way. Now, for me now, I just on the issue of this rice and what Moda did or so, I don't even want to agree to anybody telling me that it is because of the rice issue that he resigned today. No, it is not because of
No,
that.
no, I'm
That
not. No, no, no.
him,
I'm not
that
saying that. I'm not
that
saying that.
that him. Yeah, yeah,
No,
I know.
no, no,
It's
no.
not. I'm not picking up on you. That's why I say I
Oh,
don't
okay.
want people. I don't want people
Okay.
to feel that way. So since now that this elephant is dead, it's no longer in the picture. As far as serving as a minister of commerce is concerned, for me, I'm done with him. The next thing I am pressing on, brother, please submit yourself. This man need to be questioned by the law. This man must face prosecution. This man must face the anti-graft agencies so that he can answer more questions. So that at the end of the day, we don't want the doubts surrounding what led to his resignation to stay be in us. Let it be clear and let it be clear through the law. So I'm asking him, using your platform
So,
right now,
so you,
to call
you
on him
think,
to put
so
himself
you
forward.
think that, the behavior he did uh, uh, uh was was a corrupt in nature.
Well, it was counterproductive as far as governing is concerned. That's bad governance. That's not
So you,
a government
so you,
official that
so
is
you
in
think
the
it
interest
warrants.
of even supporting the agenda of his party or his government. So obviously, like I said from the beginning, the right thing he did was to resign. And he should have resigned long time. But saying he didn't resign long time, resign now, let him go. But let him not just go, but let him go by virtue of the law, letting him to go free or to
So
go
do,
through the legal process. If he's to go free, that's fine. If he's to pay something in the national covers as fines, then he pay it before he can go.
so if he resigning, so should what's his name, the minister of presidential affairs resign also too?
I,
Grisby.
I I don't have any case on the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. Mr. Grisby, I don't have any case on him. I'm not investigating him.
Yeah, yeah,
The
before
anti-graft,
the
the
election.
anti-graft. Let me rest. The
Okay.
anti-grafts. I normally do and follow the anti-grafts organizations, the group agency that we have commissioned and
Mm-hmm.
given power to make sure that the police and investigate any out of my practices in government, especially corruption. Once I hear them coming out with questioning how they are now questioning the chairman of the Liberia Land Authority, now I'm hearing that, I continue to push that story. But unless that somebody bring Mr. Wolcott in the picture and say this is the question, especially anti-graft committee, then I will. But I won't just rely on hearsay, they say, and then I going to grab Mr. Honorable Wolcott and just start to tear him apart. That this is him, this is him. I completely believe about what people are telling me. Once an institution that we have clubbed the authority to actually do the job comes out and say we are questioning you about this, I will take that path and continue with it. So I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I know I'm add my voice on it to just call for a resignation of a minister because someone is telling me that a minister is corrupt.
Okay, so there were allegations made against Grisby, Mr. Grisby, in regards to stuff that money that he asked for or received from Social Security, but for vehicles and so forth. But on another, I don't know if the anti-graft corruption folks call his name on it, so I can't speak on it. I'm just speaking on from media reports. But what you just said about the land authority chairman, I believe is the guy that sold land around Hotel Africa, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes. Yeah. That's one of the areas that were mentioned in the newspapers that actually he didn't sell it, but I don't know whether unilaterally he did it, but then he have given it out on the lease agreement for 95 years, and then a portion of government land. Yeah, 95 years. So and then portions are coming, portions of government lands across the country as well have been sold according to the newspaper by this man. So obviously, once the anti-grafts have come out to actually put him under the microscope, then myself, I have a voice now. It's in the newspaper. The newspaper have done their investigation and reported it. So obviously,
hold on. Who are the people? Who is the company that received that received that land?
Well, I can't recall the company now, but I've read the newspaper. It is in the in profile newspaper. I think it's also in the last week, sometime last week, and also in the front page newspaper as well. My understanding that other newspapers have picked up the story as well. But the bottom line of that story about where Hotel Africa is situated, the bottom line and according to that story, that particular ground, that land has been leased out to an investor for 95 years. And that bothers me as well. Because
okay. All right. So if I'm not mistaken, in order for that to happen, the Congress, senator, representative is supposed to bless off on that for that to happen. If I'm not mistaken, that's what the Constitution states.
Yeah, because it is government land. So obviously,
yes, that's what I'm saying.
So yeah, I think
that's what I'm gonna have to go and look at the infinite because I want to know what company because if a company came in here and did that after Firestone did the whole 99 years deal, and these are some of the same things that President Turbo was killed about and so forth. I don't think any legislator would be stupid enough to vote on a lease for a land for 99 years that we did with Firestone.
Well, why if what if the gentleman did it unilaterally without any consultation or so? Because the LLA is responsible for all land issues in Liberia. So obviously, yeah, honestly, what I'm trying to analyze is this. To the understanding is this: they have so power. I mean, they have so much power at LNA. So the chairman, if at all they are corrupt, being that they have so much power to supervise all lands in Liberia, governments, properties, and things, then obviously that person can even misuse that power and use it excessively to do other things. And that's exactly what I'm getting
Yeah.
at after hearing this story, after reading
Okay.
this story. That perhaps somebody overused their power and did something and say, no matter what, it's not going to come out. Nobody's going to know. I'll just do it because this is Liberia. That's it. That's how I understand it.
But that's what, see, I agree with you. For me, I want to understand. I don't think that would be an American company. That's the one thing I'll say. I don't think it's an American company. It's either a Chinese company, a Russian company, a Turkish company, a company from Dubai, but will not be an American company. And let me tell people why I say it will not be an American company. I keep telling people the reason why we don't have American company in Liberia as it should be is because because of our corruption, the corruption we have in the country. And America has a law that American citizens going overseas and conducting business in a corrupt manner, you can be prosecuted in America even if you do it anywhere around the world. When it comes to China, when it comes to Dubai, when it comes to any Arab nation, it comes to Russia, it comes to China, and so forth, they are not going to prosecute their citizens for any corruption. So when people say why America do not have companies in Liberia and so forth, it's because of our corruption and because no American company wants to be persecuted by their government.
Well, I would disagree on that, obviously, because historically we know how Liberia was established and how Liberia became to be known to be referred to as an independent country. We know that history as well. So come on, from Joseph Jenkins Roberts' time or to Tubman time, who were those guys that were in power? Now, who were those guys that had influence in no, you're talking about that because of corruption, that's why America don't want to have investment here. Now I'm taking you. I am passing my words.
You are passing my words. You are passing my words.
Okay.
Okay. Let me restate it. I hear people complain saying American companies are not in Liberia. A lot of people say, and I ask them that there is not a lot of American companies. We have corruption here. That is not a lie. I am not saying that the laws how America has strengthened the laws because of corruption that have taken place across that some American companies have taken advantage of corrupt corrupt system. America has strengthened the laws to prosecute businesses that go overseas and do those things because they feel that they are putting the sole eye on America as they feel it's not in America's best interest. I'm saying to you that American companies do not want to come because they believe that because of the corruption, if they are part of it, that there's possibility that they could get penalized for it. A Liberian citizen sitting in Liberia right now can hire a lawyer in America and sue an American company in America. A Liberian citizen sitting in Liberia right now cannot hire no lawyer to sue any Russian citizen, Chinese citizen, Indian citizen, or any Arab nation citizen. But a Liberian sitting here can hire an American lawyer in America and sue for anything that American company does in Liberia. Possibly also in Great Britain. But it cannot happen with people from Dubai, for any Arab nation, China, or Russia.
Now, this is it. If we're talking about corruption, and because of corruption, that's why America won't do business with Liberia. I have serious problem with that. And
Okay.
I want to go back to history. We are 177. Let me minus. Let me take away 77 for us Liberians, and then the 100 years. What
Mm-hmm.
happened with the 100 years? Where was America? Beside the Firestone. Where were they?
Lampo.
Was was that
Lampo.
rampant was that rampant corruption as they see it today in the 21st century during the 100 years when they were signing the contract with Firestone or so? Was that corruption? This is where I don't want to agree that it's because of corruption. No. Uh, it is only in this 21st century that in fact we are facing these challenges in terms of our own children, the children of Liberia, refusing to be patriotic to this nation and then putting their self-interest in everything, putting themselves first, but not the country. It's only
Who?
in this 21st century. So, um, in terms of corruption and why America is investing in Liberia, I don't think it's all bogged down
No, no,
to
no. I
corruption.
didn't. No, no,
Lack
no,
of
no, no.
lack,
You
lack,
said
lack of
misquoting me. You are
lack
still
of no
misquoting me. I
lack
said
of interest
American
in
companies.
everything. Lack of interest. Lack
I
of
said
interest. That's all.
American companies. I didn't say America. American
Yeah,
companies.
American
I didn't
company.
say America.
Hey man, come on.
No, there's a
If
difference. There's a difference.
you
No, there's a difference. There's a difference. American companies and America, they are the same but different.
oh, okay, so you qualifying Firestone to just be an American company, but not
Firestone is a
America.
Japanese company.
Yeah, I mean Japanese company
Firestone,
is Japan as a nation. That's it. So
yeah,
obviously,
no,
before
Firestone is owned by
before
Japanese family. Firestone has been owned by Japanese family since 1986.
I understand. Thank you. What I am saying as well, the bottom line here is that to me, if it comes to corruption and why is it that Americans are not interested in uh, investing in Liberia, I don't think it has to do with corruption only. Is
What do you think?
they
No, no, no. It's
they
not only.
they,
Mr. Parker, I'm not going
they
to say it's only. I'm saying also the economic situation in the country is some of the reason why it's hard. They feel that it's hard to do
it,
business. I'm a
America
living proof of it right now.
Americans American companies refuse to come to Liberia since 1840. Does not have to do with corruption. It has to do with lack of interest in this nation. So, whether it's an American company, even if you yourself you leave from you put a company down on the ground here today, you will get protection from the U.S. government through the U.S. embassy. If I leave, if I set up a company here now, obviously at the end of the day, I might be able to get also some kind of a protection or backing from the British government through the embassy here. So obviously, as once that happened, obviously, in the case of even those days way back when Firestone was here, at the end of the day, America, you said you saw all those videos and things. America, as a country, was heavily involved in it. They thought it was their property. They thought it doesn't matter whether it's an individual from Louisiana, from Maryland or so was actually who came here and planted the company. But the fact that they are an American citizen, America definitely have to have their interest in it. That's all over the world. That's how it's happening. So I think to close up on this, what I would say here is that I would have loved uh, to have seen a lot of companies from America, especially from those days, being on the ground, even right after the war, perhaps to see them coming back also. Besides the Peace Corps they used to send here to help us in schools and other places also. What I wanted to see companies on the ground as well. And I know you yourself, you wanted to see companies in like, I mean, from Americans coming here to settle companies and things, and then after the war, come back again to regenerate also. But it's sad. It's sad that despite all of that, I'm not seeing it. But I'm not going to actually put blame on them. At the end of the day, my brother, you yourself, you know that we have what the rest of the world want, but we are not making use of it in a very adequate way that it can reach to everybody. That's the problem we have.
Agree.
If we actually make use of what we have here, even strangers have been telling me. Like the last time I met the British ambassador, this is the man that was not born in this country. He only came here on the foreign mission also. He has traveled all over. He has seen Liberia, how green Liberia is, how potential Liberia is. And this man was telling me, Max, if only what God have blessed this nation with, was to be used by her children properly, nobody will go to bed hungry in Liberia. And you won't, and I won't see, you won't see people begging.
Max, you see, let's be honest with our people on this show right now. Let's be honest with our people on the show. Let's be blunt. This is Ego Talk Uncut. Let's not sugarcoat what let's not be too diplomatic, right? When I say about the corruption, I'm talking about, let's take for example, I'm talking about systematic corruption within the system. Let's take for example, a week or two ago, that labor minister went to Bill Mountain and said that he was mad at the fact that Liberians were getting paid $600 and foreigners were getting paid $1,200, $2,000, $1,600, $1,700. And he was mad about that. It's disingenuous that you, as the labor minister, one, Liberians do not know the rules of the roads for them to drive. They don't. I don't care what anybody want to say. I can give a driving test to a Liberian who was born here right now, have not traveled outside, and gave the driving test that we are driving test for the United States. The driving test stuff that we follow, that is handbook and stuff right now. They will not be able to pass the driving test, the written test. It's disingenuous for he's a counselor. He knows that these companies pay insurance for their drivers and so forth. He knows that if you don't have a qualified driver to drive the car and you get in an accident, your insurance goes up. He knows, and the government of Liberia knows, that right now at the Ministry of Transport, they do not have a driving handbook. If you go to the driving schools that are around here, that are driving people around here, they are teaching people the practical on how to change gear and so forth and things like that. They don't have something where people sit in the classroom actually learning the rules of regulation of the roads. Now let's take it to the police. Police on the road they're not properly directing traffic or enforcing traffic laws. That they see motorcyclists driving over the yellow line, and they see cars driving over the yellow line. They are not punishing them. And then they want the companies to pay Liberians who are not qualified to drive. These are ripple effects of things that take place. It's some of the reason why we are not able to get the jobs or get the people or the companies that need to come and do these things. You got when they put in place things for people to do the right thing, you got people who will take the shortcuts to do stuff. Most of the people that have driver license have not in the country have not driven, have not properly gone through driving schools. Then let's take well, the former presidential candidate for the Liberian People Party, who said last week or this week about when he was labor minister, he moved the foreigner price from $400 to $1,000 for labor. But there's the same man who sat there and passed a decent work act that said Liberia should be getting paid 68 cents an hour. And he called himself a human rights activist. But he sat there and think, what's human right? What's humane in Liberia in the 21st century, having people get paid 68 cents an hour? The same thing he said that we don't love ourselves. You look at, after so many years, Firestone have not built a tire plant in Liberia. That 2015, between the 15 and 18, between 15 and 2018, Firestone built a new tire plant in South Carolina. That the town that they built it in, the revenue went from about $1,000, maybe about $300,000 a year to $1.2 million a year, but just for building a tire plant. Let's look at the reason the Firestone deal that was recently signed by under President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf that had Tyrone Gonglo, the former presidential candidate. Most of the people that in there, the Ami Moda and everybody that sat there and signed the same Firestone deal from 1986 and 1929 and just reduced a year from 99 years to 45 years. The same thing. So
let me talk on the issue of the. I saw the story as well in the newspaper about the workers. Say Asamete or BA Mountain, right? Yeah.
I think BA Mountain.
So this story, as I got it, is about pay disparity, and I think the company didn't treat our people right, and I also think that the Ministry of Labor didn't do the due diligence to counter check or to always be policing these companies as well. Look, before somebody's any of our people sat behind those trucks or any heavy machine over there, they give them tests. They will not just, I know they didn't just pick them or come and sit here also. They give them tests and they thought that the people pass the test and they can handle those heavy equipments. Mm-hmm. Now, once that individual having to pass the test and definitely they brought their police clearance and yourself, they got to be clear also. You don't want to just hire anybody that will go and cause your company or put your company into public dispute. Obviously, you have to follow all of the rules of engagement for your company as well. So obviously, since that was done, and that was legally done then, and they got their legal employment, I think they pay the way as I saw in the paper. It was disingenuous to the people of Liberia, to our people, and I would have thought the Ministry of Labor was supposed to come very, very hard on the company without any shifting any blame, whether the people were trained or not trained properly or so. But the Ministry of Labor should have protected her children, her citizens, in the hands of people who have just come to corrupt them. Because, when I read the story and I started seeing the differences in salary between Liberians that are employed within that company and those that the company, wherever they have come from, but those foreigners that came here also working on a working visa also, why must they? What must the salary difference be so huge like that? That's unfair. It's unfair labor practice. So I hope, I'm not following the story now, but I hope the Ministry of Labor have taken step, and that this company should be fined, that the salaries should be reviewed and recommended by even the Ministry of Labor also. If they knowingly violated the labor law of Liberia, they should be punished for it.
I disagree with you.
Yeah, on point.
I disagree with you on that.
Yeah, I spoke on many things. I mean, on what?
No, I disagree on the company being fined, and I disagree on the saying that the practice of labor law was it was unfair to Liberians that were working over there. But like I said earlier, and why I would disagree, the Liberians that were working over there, they are not qualified as the people who they brought into the country.
How do you know?
They are not. Huh?
How do you know?
Because if the government of Liberia was serious, we would have those vehicles. We have training for those vehicles in this country.
I don't want to agree with you. I said, how do you know they were not trained?
Let me finish. In the United States, right now, there's this thing called CDL training. I will look up the actual thing. Hold on one second. Let me look it up.
It's heavy duty training. According to Liberia, heavy duty training is here.
Okay. All right. And if you myself right now, if you want to go right now and do an undercover thing right now to send somebody to that school, they are going to pay their way for them to just get the training and not get the proper training.
No.
Just because I said it right now, I won't do it. But let's wait till the end of the year. You find somebody for us to go. We just use the person, or maybe I can go undercover now because they will say I got series in my mouth, so I can still try it stuff that somebody will pass me without me doing the actual work that the actual training I'm supposed to be doing.
What I want you to do, what I want you to do, I ask you a question here. How do you know that these people were not trained, but yet then still they were hired by the company?
I'm saying I'm looking at a system in which that we have in our country. Because of the dishonesty within our system, it's in our DNA that people are not doing they're not making people do what we're supposed to do. Let's take, for example, what's his name did, Stanley Witherspoon did with his nursing school. Look what he went through, how much money he has to pay, or he has paid. If you look, and right now, you look at every student. I have spoken to a lot of students who graduated, talk about flexibility fees in school when it comes to take the WIAC. The flexibility fee is to bribe the teachers and to give them the correct answer.
Yeah, but brother, you can't compare that to what we are talking about here.
No,
we are talking about heavy equipment.
Let's be honest. No, let's be honest. You don't have to. I'm just saying the facts are. If the teachers in high school.
Number one, you have not been there. You are not the how do you call it, the manager or operation manager for the company. You I don't know whether you have idea how they do their recruitment process in terms of whether the gardener also, how do they go about to hire a gardener or so.
You know how you can prove it?
You don't know, but I am speaking from the professional point of view that no company, even you yourself that's sitting right over there, you controlling this platform and you put an announcement out. I am looking for a qualified journalist to help me run this show here. Your qualification should be proven by virtue of you giving me your CV or any certificate you get. That's it. So you have a bunch of people now coming to you. They want to work for your institution. They present all these documents that you requested for. It left with you now to conduct another interview, whether you want their face-to-face interview, and you conduct it, and then you match what they have written on the paper or CV or what is written as their qualification to what the interview, what they're going to offer in the interview. From there, you are going to whittle down and then pick out the best that you want. Now, why would I have problem with you? Or if any of them happen to perhaps maybe blunder or so, or no, let me just attach it to what we're talking about here. If you happen now to say, well, this is how I'm going to set my pay, this is the pay range, and hear me there as from the PUL, then you say, oh, even though the person from vocational training institution, but the person is better off, let them get $400. Then you say, oh, the other person, even though they get BSc degree, but let them get 250 or so. And then you do a pay arrangement like that. I, from the PUL now, if I get such a report, obviously, I will have to ask you, how did you come about to set up the pay arrangement like this? Because I'm speaking now on behalf of these people that you have hired. I don't want to know their qualification, because you, the one that hired them, you know their qualification, how prepared they were before to work with you. But I am thinking about their pay. So I am particular about their pay. So there's a similar thing that happened over there. Before these people, I will repeat again, before these people were hired, I know there was an announcement. We're looking for heavy duty driver, trucks, heavy machine, front hand roller, and saying we're looking for people that can move them also. You must have qualification in it. You must have a full driving license. You must have police clearance as well to see that you have no criminal records. If all of these things were presented to the company, this is a responsible company. Let me say this. They should have other operations in other countries. So it's now a small company. They just 1 or 2 person running it. So at the end of the day, when they hire these people, obviously, I am particular about the pay range. The pay system supposed to be the same across the board, except if it is based on, I'm using conditional phrase, on qualification, but not on race, because this person from that side, and so let me pay them this amount. No, it shouldn't be that way. That's my contention here, that everyone they hired, perhaps they wanted 10 people and maybe 500 people let's say apply for the post, and they were able to run it down through looking at their papers and things, and took the 10 people. So the company now is responsible to make sure that these people get their actual benefit and paid. That's my problem here. So I can't blame the people that they were not qualified. No, they were qualified. That's why they hired them. So let them get the pay according to how it's supposed to be structured. Not to pay to say the people that came with the company, or the company brought them from abroad, they should get higher pay because why? They are paying more tax or so. No, I just saying something. They shouldn't do like that. I won't agree with them for them to do like that. I'm just saying something.
No, I agree with you on how it should go. The way I guarantee the way in which there's one way we can prove what you're saying is true or what I'm saying is true. You know that one way? You know how that one way is?
You are disqualifying the people that, because of the system that you know about, these people are not qualified.
I'm saying what I'm agree, and I still stand by it. And the way that what I said, right? What I'm saying, the way we can prove that what I'm saying is wrong is for the Ministry of Labor to sue Bill Mountain. Let them prove, because Bill Mountain is going to come and say that they will not qualify. That's what Bill Mountain is going to say, and they're going to say we're going to hire them because we couldn't find no qualified driver, and because we had to hire Liberians, so we put them in there. That's the excuse that Bill Mountain is going to use. If the Ministry of Labor is serious about what you're saying, what should happen, they will sue. Yeah, but they will not do it. They will go behind that door.
That's why I came here and said an investigation to be done. If I use a conditional phrase, if they are found guilty, they should be fined and then also be prosecuted for what they did. And then the salary structure should be given to them. This is how it should be. Not because somebody comes from abroad, it should be overpay our people. I
agree, but guess what? But like the Liberian government, Liberian government now, before the last one, the one before that, have not trained our people for the 21st century jobs. We are not invested in those things. And I'm sorry to the end Liberian who watching this live right now or later. The dishonesty that we have within sectors of people passing people just because to pass people is the reason why we cannot have our work sector is not growing and is not, and people are not getting paid what they should get paid. If we can agree to disagree. We can agree to disagree on that.
I don't want to agree on that because you are thinking that I am not qualified. Thinking that I'm not qualified, you should pay me the way you should pay me. But this is it. I just put a whole analogy on your table here.
Let's take for example what President Booker did. Let's take for example what President Booker did with the Minister of Foreign Affairs. She was not qualified for that job because of what she did. She should have never accepted that job. Or president should have withdrew her name. I know nobody want to say it and stuff, but I will say this. She should have never, President Booker should have withdrew her name for that job because the story that led up to everything that she did, she was not qualified for that job. So if the president himself is doing that at the top, and then what do you expect the people to do? The president is the role model. Just because she's part of the clique or part of the stuff and things like that, the qualification, she may have the experience. But what led her to that experience was a lie. What led her to that experience was a lie. That would not happen in an industrial thing.
I don't know as to this one again how you got about to say that she wasn't qualified to have been
no, I said she wasn't. I said she is not because it's proven facts. She cannot show a bachelor's degree.
Well,
she cannot furnish a bachelor's degree.
This is it. I am not going to fight anybody here for being appointed for this job also. I'm not after anybody's job also. What I am very much careful here is to scrutinize you, Honorable Wilkerly, that I don't even know your educational background, but by virtue of somebody coming on the internet and say this is where Mr. Wilkerly stopped in school, this is why he did, this is why he was, then I should rely on that and say no. Send the brother. I finished hearing about him on this case. He wants to be president of Liberia. No, he can't. I believe the person wants the person
degree.
And then again, Mr. Honorable Wilkerly is appointed as what? Ambassador to this country also. Then somebody say, oh, but the man finished high school, why you send a man to be ambassador also? Then I capitalize on that. Even knowing your background, not knowing you by virtue of knowing who you are, actually, as far as education is concerned, qualification is concerned, work experience is concerned, I have no idea. Then I'll go jump and say, but I know the man, so when the man finish high school, the man telling me that I believe it. He shouldn't go there. I don't think we should be driving our argument like this, to be honest, on each other as well. And
I'm trying to also be Mr. Pack.
Where I'm seeing the argument now going. From international relations, and politics. I think where I've seen the argument going of late, the madam have proven many people wrong, and she's performing well, and diplomatically she is handling things. She's behaving as a diplomat also, and by virtue of even Liberia now renewing friendship or even establishing new friendship with other countries as well. That means that she even more qualified to do the job. Than this job is not, you have to work the physics and maths and things. No, it's straightforward.
I'm not saying Mr.
It's
Pacquiao.
discipline. It's
Mr.
all about
Pacquiao.
discipline. It's all about experience. It's all about being. Imagine imagine she herself was running as president. So even if she were going to win the election, like people are going to say that she's not qualified.
No. Let's first of all, let's look at integrity. Integrity matters. Character matters.
That's why I'm questioning here. Since I don't know you personally,
no, but what I'm saying to you. Okay, this one. Say again.
I said, since I don't know you, Honorable, what do you call it, personally, I'm not going to rely on the third party to put that cloud over you. That I should just believe them and say yes.
I have a high school degree. I have a high school degree. So
I'm just trying to actually blend in with what you're talking about this lady, that she wasn't qualified.
No, I'm saying this is factual. If the accusation that was put out there for her doing her confirmation that she does not have a bachelor's degree, she never addressed.
I mean, saying you want to actually microscope her now, is that a qualification to hold it?
No.
Oh, okay. To be president and to be foreign minister.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not. But I'm talking about character. I'm talking about integrity. That's what I'm speaking on. We're talking about corruption within there. Knowing that she fabricated a story about her having a bachelor's degree, and it's not true. The president knew it, or he knew it and didn't care, or he found out about it and didn't care. He still appointed her as foreign minister. Now, when I talk about flexibility fees in high school, this is a known fact. I know this for myself because I have tried to go to the school and go to a couple of schools to go and chastise the administrator, and people told me, say, because to just let it go. We'll call it let it go. This is Liberia. This is how it is.
I don't want to agree on that.
Let me say this. Let me say this. When it comes, if in the high school, that teachers are already teaching students how to be dishonest, how to have lack of integrity, already in school, in high school, already. The people who should be teaching, the people who are supposed to be the backbone of this nation, they are already doing it. Right now, if you go to the Ministry of Transport, and the people who have driver license in this country, there are people who have driver license should not have driver license. There are people who are riding motorcycles that should not have motorcycle license. People who are driving on the street right now, have motorcycle that they are pulled over and they don't have a license. But instead, the cops still let them, the police still let them go. Everything is a ripple effect that is affecting our society. We may not want to talk about it and say, oh, we can't talk about it that loud. We can't say it. We can't speak on it and so forth. We can say that. We can say that now and then let bygones be bygones. But let's tell the truth that our Liberian people, the generation behind us, need to hear this to know that this is not a behavior that should continue, because it's a ripple effect of things. If we continue to do those things, it's not going to advance us. It's not just because this person is from your tribe, or this person is part of your family, or this person is part of your fraternity, or this person is part of your church, or this person is from your religion. So we just let things to be how it is. That's what I'm speaking about.
Great point. Mm-hmm.
Let's transition to witch hunt. The continual talk of witch hunt of people from the previous administration saying that this is witch hunt. What say you on this? What's your take on the so-called witch hunt?
Well, I think you're talking about a fight against corruption by the Unity Party government. I think so, and in
Yes.
which some past government officials have been chased today or been requested to, I mean, turn themselves over for some questioning or so, and um, they have decided to refer to it as a witch hunt instead of fighting corruption. Um, it's a sad story to note that despite the fact that uh, during the past 6 years, we saw an absolute share of corruption practices. It was it was well spoken within the party itself, the CDC party. The party chairman reminded us, said it openly, that indeed he does have problem with corruption. That indeed, whenever the president travel, they will give gift in money in kind, but the president will put it in his personal pocket. These are his words, former chairman of the party. And then we also saw sanction coming, individual sanction coming and hitting high on government officials. That again, the majority of them denied, even though they didn't sue the people who accused them. They didn't sue America to go and prove themselves wrong. But they sat there. And then as you know, with this government coming in and they said, well, you know, we really want to fight corruption because corruption, since it's also a mass murderer, is keeping this country down and has kept this country down for too long. And the only way you can fight corruption is to uh, go to the source of where corruption happened. And when corruption happens somewhere, it's not an animal from the bush that will come and do it in the office. It will be human being. And so the first point of contact for investigation will be human being to help you to run to go to the bottom of why the corruption happened and where it happened. And to for this government now to start the fight that even the former government started by instituting all of the making sure that indeed they empower the anti-graft institutions as well. That's it in itself is helping to fight corruption. And I know they also a couple of years ago the police the former president's son here that he was very corrupt and another gentleman as well. They even have to go to prison and they let them go and think. So they also started in a very right footing as well. But it's almost like it almost looked like somebody is actually uh, sucking your blood out, but then at the same time popping in the bag so you can feed it. So that was happening. And for this government now to say, well, you know, let's continue this work, since the CDC government started. And then the very people now that they are now questioning, calling for questioning, not even arrest, but calling for questioning, I now turning the story all around to say, well, what you are doing now is a witch hunt. We are not the doers. So if you come after us, you're only witch hunting because we are an opposition political party, which I disagree with testimonially. And I'm so much disappointed in many of my brothers who were in the past government. Liberians, for that matter, they are not foreigners. They all were born here. Unfortunately for them to turn their back on the country and the children of Liberia, actually it baffles me. And to allude the fight of corruption to a witch hunt is a disgrace to all of them, to anybody who will say in the fight against corruption in this country is a witch hunt. I think that is in itself proof to me, Honorable Broccoli, that this is how far we have gone to be disloyal to this country, unpatriotic to this country, unloved to this country, to say the least. And I'm so much baffled of it. And I don't think it's a witch hunt. I think uh, it's in the right path. There's nowhere in the office that a corruption will happen that is not human being that did it. So the only way you can get to the bottom of it, human being must be caught. Human being must be asked to help with the investigation until perhaps somebody can be found or so. So to me, it's not a witch hunt. And until that can be happen, my brother, uh, if we don't set precedent, if we don't have a government that will really stand up to say they want to set precedent, that impunity should be nothing that we should continue to practice in this country. Nigeria, I mean, even the next, you know, 3, 4 generations are going to face the wrath of what we are creating today.
I agree with everything he's saying, but I'll put a caveat on this. People will be persecuted, but they will be found not guilty. People will be persecuted and will be found not guilty. And this is why I say it. Because they will be found not guilty in the court of law. Because the people who are doing investigation are going to muddy the water, so that those people will not be found guilty, so they can use it for them to do their own corruption. That's my opinion. They are going to murder. They are not going to persecute these people. But I would say to the people who are being persecuted, rest assured that you will not be found guilty. If they find anybody guilty, there will be somebody who is lower on the totem pole. It will not be any of the people who are the main players. That's my opinion. That's what I see. The people who will be persecuted, the people will be persecuted. They will go on with the persecution, but due to what the people who are persecuted, they are going to muddy the waters for those people to be found not guilty, so that they can do the same thing, so they can be found not guilty when it's their time to be persecuted. So they are not going to pass the law or do the law in a way for these people to be found guilty. They will find 1 or 2 people guilty, but it's not going to be anybody that's on the totem pole of the stuff. That's my opinion. I hope I'm wrong, but we will see in 2 years from now what happens.
Okay, we're looking forward to that.
I hope I'm wrong, but I think I believe that's where is leading for that to happen. Okay, so question: do you think the president should reshuffle his cabinet?
Well, I would say yes. And then in an extension, what I know about governing is that once you are appointed by the prime minister, you are appointed by a president, you are on probation. Even if the government is going for 5 or 6 years and you are into the 3rd year, you are still on probation. You can be recalled at any time, you can be sacked, and you can be rotated from one agency to another, one ministry to another. And that's why I keep reminding each and every one of them, especially the lieutenants of the president, those appointed by him directly. You are on probation and you are subject to be reshuffled at any time. And I think that with all the hula baloo that have been now for the past 9 months, I wouldn't see any reshuffle coming now to say, and it's surprising to me also. I think there are a lot of some of them either they are not prepared to serve their country, and so they are behaving the way they are behaving, in a way that we are not happy as well. Those that the president have the power to switch around. I think I wouldn't mind for the president to do a reshuffle right now. I wouldn't mind the president to do a reshuffle in November. I wouldn't mind the president doing a reshuffle in December. But I know that a reshuffle is actually needed and is also prudent. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay, so if you were to advise the president right now on reshuffle, where are some of the places if he say okay, we're reshuffling or new hires, where are some of the places that you would say that we should, appoint new people and why?
Well, um, that is hypothetical in a sense because
Yeah.
um, I am not I am not serving the position that I am clothed with the responsibility to receive cabinet ministers' report or to police them. So uh, the recommendation I can make is to make an open recommendation. Uh, Mr. President, your Liberian people are complaining about this, about that person also. I think there's a need to listen to them and do a reshuffle. But right now, I'm not prepared to give any name also because I am not policing the cabinet
No,
ministers.
no, no. I'm not.
Uh,
Okay. Okay. Let me rephrase the question like this. Where do you think, from someone looking outside, looking inside, you think that we need improvement in the country? Let me just put it like that. Let me, not,
we can need improvement without reshuffle. So you ask question about reshuffle. That's why I answer it
yeah.
that way.
I'm, I'm,
Or if we
I
talk
know you
about,
don't want to
we talk
call
about
names.
improvement,
I'm not saying call
if,
names. I'm just saying
if,
where you. I'm trying to. I get what you're saying, and I know you don't want to say, oh, this minister should go. So I'm just trying to see where our place is within this administration that you think that you don't have to come out and say this ministry or this person name, but just something that a ministry is doing that you think that it should be doing, or a sector or department that you think that it would have an impact if they were doing this.
yeah, but this is why I want you to understand. If you talk about recommending for improvement, it's different from recommending for a particular ministry to or minister to be reshuffled. So yeah,
You just don't want to answer my question.
I don't
You
want
don't
it to
want to
be
answer
I
my
don't want it
question.
to be I don't want it to be technical on me. That's my own area too. Let me tell you now, my own area. So for improvement, for improvement, as
Uh-huh.
far as government is concerned, I would want to see all of the sectors being improved. I would want to see all of the sectors to pick up and pace and take it and pace and start moving, swiftly. I would love to see, a swift movement of ministers, of lieutenants to the president in their various responsibilities, capacities, serving the state to go faster. That, of course, I want it to go across the board. Whether it's education, whether it's health, we need improvement. Improvement so that at least early childhood education investment can go into early childhood education. Improvement in education we can invest into teacher training as well. So everyone that will go in the classroom must go through the training process at the teacher training institution before you come outside to teach. Not from high school straight you start teaching. No, we need that such an improvement at the health sector. I need regulations. I don't want to see people selling medicine or whatsoever thing around the bucket and sending it to our people and say they want for malaria, they want for this and so. I don't want to see. I want to see improvement where regulation can take place that should stop. Yes, I want to see improvement where at least when a premature baby is born in the hospital at a healthcare care center, I want to see an incubator there that will help to make sure that that child survive also. I want to see improvement. I want to see improvement in the agriculture sector where we can get support so that farmers, I myself, I want to do farming, but I need help. I want to see improvement where the Ministry of Agriculture can empower me to go in the bush and then they begin farming. So if you talk about improvement, I want improvement in all sectors of government. And then at the same time, I wouldn't mind if the president can do a reshuffle on the bottom line. That's all I can say. I don't want to recommend that Mr. Honorable
Hey,
Wolcoli should
I
be
was trying to put you on
taken
the
to the
spot, Mr. Pacquiao. I was trying to
Ministry of
put you on the
Information
spot.
and send to the Ministry of Health.
Uh,
No, I think I wouldn't want to suggest to the president say, let Honorable Wolcoli leave Ministry of Information and go to Ministry of Health. I don't want to, I'm not coming to that to recommend for sort of reshuffle. I just want to say, Mr. President, I think it's time for some people. The probation period is over. That's all I gotta say.
okay. Well, we're almost time to closing. I want to say thank you again for coming on show. Hopefully, we can do more shows. I would like for you to come on more for us to more debate.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a little bit more panelists that we can have these kind of discussion of a more intellectual discussion than the chichipole discussion.
You're right.
And it
You're
was
right on that.
yes, it was an honor of having you on it today. Maybe next week or so that if you have time, we'll see. Maybe you can come come on for us to have more discussion stuff, current events and and so forth like that. And then parting words for the audience.
Well, I just want to say, a big thank you to you as well. My first time on your platform, but it's been wonderful. I will always be available, especially once it comes to once it comes to Liberia and Liberia interest. I am always there. I don't bite. I don't just bite the die and throw and choose who to bite on or no. If it comes to saying the truth, I will say it and nothing but the truth. Whosoever feel hurt about it, you can take it personal with me. That's it. But I want to say I was delightful and thank you for the invitation. And I want to also say to all the viewers, thank you so much for supporting the platform as well. I will make myself a date whenever we talk behind the scene and invitation comes. Definitely, once I'm available, I will definitely come and share the platform with whosoever, all of you that will be here, so that we can talk about our vital important matter, which is Mama Liberia. Thank you so much, and it's a pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Pacquiao. To everyone watching, please like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel Core TV. Core TV. Please like, share, and subscribe to Core TV. To everyone listening, thank you for listening to us. Thank you for taking the time to hear us speak. You could be watching any show now, but I want to say thank you. God bless you. God bless Liberia, and everybody have a wonderful evening.